bet it's a bullet gonna get the last laugh.
Today we have an interview here from two very important developers within the Tekken project team. From time to time you'll hear Michael Murray or Harada say, yeah, we went to the guys and we told them this was a really cool idea and let's try it out. The people that he's referring to is Yasuda and Nikatsu. There's others as well. You could talk about Mishima Star, who does the balancing and whatnot, but I just wanted to highlight that because I think it's very important. But this news article, they share some details about Tekken 8 that's also very important. So I just want to read some of this stuff and give you guys a glimpse at what they have up their sleeves. So this is a, I believe, Korean news article that I translated to English. It says, as far as I was able to experience, the only operation character in the story mode was Jin, but will you only operate Jin in the future? I think it's so interesting that other content creators got to experience so much more than what was shown. Main Man said he played like 5 chapters of the story. There's another content creator who's already unboxing the game. Let's focus. Their response says, as the story progression, there's also a scene where you manipulate another character. I don't know if this is supposed to mean, because it's a translation, a rough one. I don't know if this is supposed to say others characters, many others, but it definitely confirms at least one. But I think we all would see, like in the battle with Lars, we probably would use him. We would assume that there's instances where you play other characters because Tekken 7 established that. Yasuda says at the beginning of the story, Jin has a spot because he's the main character of Tekken 8. At the same time, the story of Tekken 7 ended when Jin woke up and he decided to defeat Kazuya Mishima. Nikatsu jumps back in and says the King and Iron Fist tournament hasn't drawn much until now, but in Tekken 8, that's a spot that they will also focus on. So the operation of other characters than Jin, you'll be asked to play as them. And there was a moment where Leroy Smith did a fist bump with Jin. If you pay attention to that, it looks like it's kind of like a Tekken Bloodline scenario where Leroy Smith is giving him a pep talk before his fight. Maybe his fight is with Paul Phoenix or Brian Fury, or who knows. I think that's so interesting because, like they say here, the tournament was always a part of the game, but it was never focused on. I ask you this question: who wins out of a fight between Eddie or Dragunov? Who wins between Leo or Asuka? Just seeing something like that play out in a tournament, even for a brief moment, would be spectacular. Let's move on to the next question. Is there a change in story depending on the result of the battle in story? So basically, is there different endings, branches, arcs? Will your ending be different from mine? Nikatsu says, depending on the choices during the battle, the subsequent development and the next battle may be affected. It's not going to be like a, choose your own destiny where it's like super crazy. At the end of my game, Jun Kazama die. At the end of your game, Lily dies. I don't think it's going to be that extreme. Yasuda says, I want you to play and check the impact of the story. So they're not really saying much. They want you just to experience it for yourself. What is the volume of the entire story mode? How big is it? Nikatsu says about 1.5 times more than Tekken 7. Just the story mode. There's also the character episodes such as Tekken 6 added to it. So it's a considerable volume. So Tekken 7, if you look on YouTube, the entirety of the story is about an hour and 40 minutes. That's no fight scenes. You add 1.5 to that and you'll get a rough idea of how long Tekken 8 will be. It still blows my mind that Mortal Kombat is like 4 or 5 hours long. That's absurd. Another question, this is about future events. Are there any events you're planning for the 30th anniversary next year? So this response here is very muddy, but he basically says that he can't say anything specifically about the 30th anniversary. He does confirm that he does want to build on Tekken for a very long time, something that the developer said that's very interesting to me. You know the Tekken Lounge where you can experience Tekken Ball, the customization in the dojo area? Michael Murray said if that part of the game is supported, if players play it frequently and often, it will be built upon. New parts could be added to it. A Tekken bowling or something of that sort. Whether or not they'll do a reveal at the 30th anniversary, I think it's pretty much certain. You could talk about DLC, you could talk about many things. But the last sentence just says, I would like to make the scene surrounding Tekken larger than such a competition scene. So they're really trying to build so much more than just competitive, just tournaments. They want to go back to what Tekken used to be, how it was like a cultural phenomenon. There's pictures of like Michael Jackson and like Bruce Lee's daughter playing Tekken 3 and whatnot, right? Which I think that should be the goal. The next question, is it possible for your ghost to forget the behaviors that he learned in the past. Now, I won't read this whole response here, but basically he says, if there's a move that you only use, let's say I'm a Yoshi, right? And I use the seppuku once every 10 rounds, my Ghost AI will never use it, basically. The moves that really define your character, not the ones that you use like in a random what if scenario where you're like, oh, wait, I could do this, let me do that, and then forget. So that's interesting as well. It kind of shows the limitations of the ghosts. This one, there's also a lot of character customization, but will this be reflected online? I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I have an issue with like distinguishing one character from another. That probably will increase so much with the being able to change the color of the hair, the eyes, put different outfits on characters. Tekken 8 is going to be wild in that aspect. But they do say that that's something that they're sticking to, and that's something that they really want to like sink their teeth into. On the character select screen, you'll be able to see your outfit as well, right? And I think that's dope, bro. I did also see that there's other people who also believes that they will add skins after. Now, will they do what Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat is doing, break your wallet? That's yet to be seen. But skins is probably going to be something that they do, and then also like just adding new customizations to the game. I think they're definitely going to continue working on this game, and they're going to be very active so that this game stays lively.